and welcome to my channel. Today I have card number 3 in the 5-part pop-up card series. It's this card here. And I'm going to be honest with you. I had a few problems with this, both technical and with the assembly, or actually more to do with the kind of paper that I chose for this. So it's not 100% what I'd hoped for, but I think I got there in the end, and I hope that you will give it a try yourself. Don't be put off by my errors. And I didn't want to just delete the entire video. I thought it was good to be able to show you what you can do when you do run into problems like this. So as you see, when you open it up, it has this flower effect, and actually the more you play with this, the better it will manipulate and flow more easily. So there is our flower pop-up. Now if you'd like to learn how to do this, stick with me. I'll show you how. Pop-up flower, you need 7 pieces cut to the very same size, and in this case I'm using 4x4. If you want your flower to be smaller or larger, that's fine. All you have to do is be sure that it is square. So as I said, mine is 4x4, and this is paper. You don't want anything too thick because you're not going to be able to make the folds very neatly, and also it may inhibit it when you try to pop it open. So the first thing you want to do is to make a triangle. So just simply bring it up point to point like that. Okay, then turn it and make another triangle. And then finally, you want to bring that up one more time. You can actually lift it up if you need to even up those sides. You can run your finger down there and see that it's even. And then burnish that into place. Right? So 3 triangles is what you've got. Now you have, as you see, these pieces here that are sort of fluffy, okay, and you have these that open up into, you can see down into the flower, to the petals here. What you want to do is have your folded side. You can have it that way, or you could have it that way, depending on if you're left or right-handed. But what you want to do then is to draw your flower shape, and you want to have it sort of rounded in this case. I'm going to go back over that one more time, and then you'll cut along that line there, and that is going to form your petal. Open it up, and you have your shape for your flower. And as you can see, at the moment it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 petals. But this is actually going to turn into 6 petals later on. So now just fold this back up, right? Use this as your template. What I do, just to remember your next piece, and repeat that triangle fold series. Make sure that's there. Again. And again. Again, you have your pieces that open up to the side. You have your template. All you need to do is place it here, matching the points like that. And have it either way. Might have it like that if you like, or you can have it like that. I'm going to have mine there. I'm going to have mine like that because that's where the fold is. The last one, and I've got my, as you can see here, I decided to put T on there for template so I'd know which one I was using, and remembering that you want these loose sort of ends to the side and the top, and on that folded side is where you're going to place your template, matching it to that point, and then drawing round. We'll cut this one out, and that will be all of our flowers ready to go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the next thing to do is to open these up like that, and we're going to make some cuts. We're going to do the same on each of these. So get those all opened out. All open again. And what you want to do is you want to remove one of the petals from each of these pieces. So it's easier for me to see where the fold lines are if I turn it to that white side. And what I'm going to do is to actually, I'll just draw my line in here where I'm going to cut. Then I'm going to remove this petal altogether. So just follow along the fold line up to the center, and around this one as well. And now you have something that looks like that. What you want to do is then take one side and put your adhesive, and then come over with the other till it matches up to that fold line there, like that. Okay, we'll do another one and I'll show you how I'm going to put those together. So I'm going to take out this one. then I'm going to grab my glue. I'm going to put adhesive on one side. And then that is going to go to the back. So this one over here is going to fold over. I'm going to match it up to that fold. You can see it just go right in there, and as you close this up, you can press that down. And you'll see you have your flower. Okay. Do the same with this one. And then after this one, I'll go ahead and do all the others exactly the same way, and I shall return. Final flower. Now I'm ready to assemble these. And another good thing to do is before you do start, go around and manipulate these just a bit. And by that I mean fold them in like that, and then fold them again, and then maybe one more time for good measure. And that will help to stretch those fibers a bit, break them down, and make them a little more pliable. Very sorry about the battery situation. I must not have noticed the notification that the battery was getting low, and so I just carried merrily along filming. So what I'm going to do then is show you how I did the assembly, and as you can see, this is the final assembly, and this is how you get there. First thing you want to do is to apply your glue only to the top portion of these petals here. Alright, now the assembly is fairly straightforward. Just take your time, that's all you have to do. But for the first portion, you're going to put your glue onto this petal and onto this one. So only to the left and right, not to the one in the middle. So apply your adhesive here to the top. Then take another flower and match up these two petals here. So as you see, there's nothing here, it's only attached to that top one. The same for the other side. Attach it like that. So you get this sort of shape with your opening here at the bottom. For the next, we're going to do 3. So we've gone from 2 to 3. And in this case, as you can see, since it's all 3, it makes sense that it's going to take these 3. So you're going to sit that down on top. And now you have your 3 on top. Next, we've gone from 2 to 3, so it's going to be 4 this time. Now you're not going to put any glue on these 2 bottom petals. You're going to put it on this one, skip the middle, and then apply your adhesive to the next 2. So you've got opposite petals there. So we're going to apply our glue just like we did on that first part of the assembly, we're going to take the flower petal and we're going to place it here so that it matches. So this one at the bottom is not going to be attached at all, but you are going to attach the other two, like so. Right? And then on this side, you'll do the same. So take your two petals, match them up, and then you're merely covering these, but they're not actually glued down. And the final step is to go back to 3. So we're going to put our adhesive on these 3 petals from the center, left, and the right. And then take our last petal and place it on top. And that is your flower assembled. The missing part of this filming was the assembly of the card base. So I'm just going to talk you through it since it's already done, and I hadn't gotten quite to the point where I was putting the pop-up inside. What I've got here is a 5x7 card blank. I've made my own, just taking a piece of cardstock, cutting it to 10 by 7 inches, scoring it along the 10-inch side at 5 inches, fold it over, and then I put a mat, a black mat, and I've actually cut the center out of the card just to save on cardstock. I could use that offcut on something else, and it also helps to reduce the weight and the bulk of the card. Then, on top of that, I placed, I'll show you what I used. I used the Dovecraft Colors paper pad, which I've used for the layer or the backing. This topper, I selected one of the cutouts from the Paper Boutique, and this is paper. So what I did is to give it a little more stability and depth, is just to mount it onto a bit of cardstock. So, and then I didn't put it on any kind of dimensional, no foam tape. I also took a scrap that's left over from the flower and cut it to 5 by 3.5 inches. So just offset these with each other like that. And then along this area here, I just took a piece of ribbon, not very long, probably 4 3/4, something like that, and I tied it into a knot rather than making an actual bow, just a knot, and then put some flat back pearls. And I always like to work in odd numbers, so 3s and 5s and 7s and so forth. So I put the 3 pearls on there. Back to the point where the filming stopped because the battery ran out. So I'm going to take my card, open it up, bring in my flower, and then what I'm going to do is add my adhesive again to this edge here, and it's going to be in the center one. So if you count up 2, it'll be the third one, and then 1, 2, and 3 on that side. So just place it along that fold line there. Okay. And then what I want to do is place my adhesive here. to use some of this liquid glue. I will have to give it a little time to dry. Just going to place it there. Pop it back in and place it where I want it, like so. You can go ahead and start to press that down now. Okay. Then I want to put the glue on the other side and close it again. Give it a good press. And with a little bit of patience, give that an opportunity to really grab hold. If it comes loose, we can always go back in with a little more glue. Moment of truth. Just the first time you open it, just be gentle and help it along, and you may need to actually give that another press once it's open, and you may need to actually help these pop out a bit, because they may want to sort of go together until you get them really going. And then, see, it will fall back, and after you've worked it a bit, it should fall back into place. And again, that is part of the process of folding it back and forth before we actually assembled the pieces. There we are. I've got a little bit of a tear there, I noticed. That's, I think, a result of the type of paper I've used. But I can either just ignore that, or I can, with some of these pieces that are left over, I can actually attach that into there. So, where there's a will, there's a way. So just going to put a bit of adhesive there and on there, and see if we can get that to at least give the appearance, because I have noticed this paper is very susceptible to tearing once it's been folded, so I'm not entirely surprised. But if something like that happens to you, you know there are always solutions. Look at that. More. Give them a chance to grab hold. Too noticeable. Actually come in there with another piece if we want. Get some more of these left over. We're just sort of strengthening it. Just pop that over there as well. As I said, just may need to just pull these apart a little bit. Now, since I have these little pieces left over, the petals, I thought they might make a nice little corner border here. Maybe that one, like so. I'm going to put those into the corners. I could have them go this way. I think they need to go with the rounded portion at the top. Now you can do whatever you like to these flowers here. You could ink them, ink the edges of them, for example, or you could have actually draw little lines in here to represent more of a realistic petal. Or in this case, you could put another element into the center, like this butterfly, maybe a heart or a cherub or anything that you like. The only thing you need to do is to fold it. You need to be able to fold it in half, and then you want to place your adhesive only on these two pieces here, these two petals here. So I'm going to dab some of this quick grab glue, and I'm going to place them with the center of that butterfly lining up with that center fold there. Give it a press. And then give it a moment to dry. And when you fold it, it also is going to fold with the rest of the pop-up. So, open it this time, you'll also see that that little butterfly was also revealed. There is your flower pop-up. Now, of course, you could write messages in these blank spaces or even on the back, giving this to, say, someone that you worked with, or, you know, mutual friends that want to sign the card as well. Then there should be plenty of space all round to do that, as well as the space on the back. That wasn't too unpleasant an experience, given the problems with the battery and the paper tearing, but I hope you get the general idea and that you'll also give it a go. As I said, you can make it any size you want. They could be smaller petals or larger ones. You could even have something like, here's something I played around with as an idea, where I made them more pointed. So it's going to change the whole outlook depending on how you decide to cut your petals. Thank you so much for everyone who stuck with me through this project, warts and all. And I hope that you'll join me again very soon for card number 4 in the pop-up card series. If you're not already subscribed, please consider doing it today. Share, leave a comment, a thumbs up if you so desire. And as always, stay safe and crafty hugs. Bye.